Good morning, students. Today, in the last class, we have seen uh, different concepts of software testing. We have seen when to start and when to end testing. Right? So, when to start testing? Testing can be started at the early stage. The more earlier you start the testing, then it is likely to mm, have lesser errors at the end as compared to if you are starting the testing at the later stage. Also, it depends upon the type of a model you are using. For example, waterfall model you are having testing at the later stage, whereas in incremental or spiral model you are having testing at each and every stage. Testing can be started from right from the requirement gathering phase till the last development phase. Another question was when to stop testing. Okay. So it is number of criterias are there. Depending upon that, you can stop testing. That is, testing deadline has been met. Completion of test case execution has been done. Completion of functional and code coverage to certain point. Then bugs rate you have achieved whatever you have planned for, and lastly depend upon the management decision. And when to stop it all always depend upon what type of risk you are taking, right? Because testing is unending process. And then we have seen black box and white box testing. Black box are nothing but the functional testing, whereas white box are uh, structural testing. In black box, we need not to know the internal structure of the code, or the internal structure of the code is hidden from the tester, whereas in white box testing, it is known to the tester. In black box testing, mostly done by the software testers, whereas white box testing are generally done by the developers who are developing that particular project, because they know what the code is. And again, black box testing, no knowledge of implementation is needed, whereas in white box testing, knowledge of implementation is required. It can be referred as outer or external software testing, black box, because we need not to know the internal structure of the code. In white box testing, it is an internal or internal software testing. Black box testing is functional testing of a software, I have already told. White box testing is structural testing. This testing can be initiated on the basis of requirement specification document. We will see SRS, and depending upon that, we will start black box testing. This type of testing software is started after detailed design document. We have having detailed design document. Depending upon that, we can do the testing. No knowledge of programming is required. In black box testing, you can simply have input and output. Whereas in white box testing, we need to have the knowledge of programming. In black box testing, it is the behavior testing of the software, how it reacts to a certain input, what output it produces. Whereas in white box testing, it is logical testing of the software, whether you are implementing the proper logic or not. It is applicable to the higher level of testing of software. It is generally applicable to the lower level of software testing. Then we have seen V model. These are the stages of SDLC, that is software development lifecycle. Requirement, system requirements, then global design, detailed design, and implementation. At each stage, you can perform certain type of testing. So in the testing, we will go and refer the documents which are there in the reverse order. So after implementation, you will be having unit test cases. By using unit test cases, you can execute the unit test cases, and see the functional, whether we have reached the functional testing or not. Then at the upper level we will be having integration testing, because we will be having different modules. Then we need to integrate those modules to form a system. So then there will be an integration testing. Is in unit testing we are testing whether the modules are working fine individually or not, whether they are performing their tasks properly or not, intended functionality or not. Whereas in integration testing, while putting together all those model, we will try to analyze how the integrated model works. And there are different strategies for integration also, we will see in the next unit. There is a top down approach, bottom up approach, and bi-directional approach as well, we will see in the next unit. Then after integration it will be having a system. So in system we will be having external environment also. For example, let's say you are testing ATM system. So ATM system, the machine, ATM machine is one system, but it is connected to the external system, right? So how it is working in the environment, that you will see in the system testing. And last one is acceptance testing, where you will see whether the software is acceptable or acceptable by the user or not. And next come is quality. In quality we are having two methods, verification and validation. There is a little bit difference in terminology for verification and validation. Verification, in verification we verify whether we are meeting to the intended functionality or not. Whereas whereas in validation we validate, okay, this is okay. So in verification, it makes sure that the product is designed to deliver all functionality to the customer, right? Whatever intended functionality in the SRS, whatever is written in the SRS document, whether it has been made properly or not, that we will see in verification stage. Verification is done at the start of the development process. It includes review, meetings, walkthrough, inspection, etc. to evaluate documents, plans, code, requirements, and specifications. Whatever thing we have planned, whether it is properly done or not. Verification answers the question like, I am building the product right, whether I am working in the right direction or not, that we will see in the verification. It is a low level activity. Naturally we will be starting from uh, start from the first phase, that is requirement gathering phase, till the testing phase. We will verify all the things, right? So that is why it is low level activity. Performed during development on key artifact like walkthroughs, reviews, inspection, mentor feedback, training, checklist, and these are the tools for verification. Demonstration of consistency, completeness, and correctness of the software at each stage and between each stage of the development lifecycle. It uh, verification, what it gives us is the consistency, then completeness and correctness of the software, right? Whether we are preparing or building the software right or not, at each stage we will see by verification. Next one is validation. It determines if the system complies with the requirement and perform function for which it is intended and meets the organization goal and user need. There is little bit difference between verification and validation. Verification, whether okay, for example, if you go to grocery shop, right? So you have list of some items. What you do, you buy those items, you take it from the grocery shop, put it in some bag, right? and then you verify, okay, this thing whether I have taken or not, and after that you go to the counter to pay the bill, where again it is verified by the shopkeeper, right? So when you are verifying yourself, it is verification. When shopkeeper is again testing you, that means it is a validation. Okay, it is validating that you have buy this thing, right? So that is what the difference between the two, verification and validation. Validation is done at the end of development process and takes place after verification is completed. It answers questions like, am I building the right product? Am I assessing the right data in terms of data required to satisfy the requirement? And again, it is a high level activity because we need not to go inside the each and every component of the software. We just validate whether it is working according to the SRS or not. Performed after a work product is produced against established criteria, ensuring that the product integrates correctly into the environment. It meets the requirement of the environment where you are putting that particular software in production. Uh, Determination of correctness of final software product by a development project with respect to the user needs and requirement, whether it is meeting to the user requirement or not, that is nothing but the validation. So we will see one case study how you will be performing testing, right? So here is a problem statement. This is triangle problem. Suppose you are trying to build a program to verify by entering the sites whether the particular uh, shape is a triangle or not, right? So what we will be entering is three integers ABC as input to be the side of the triangle, and output is type of triangle determined by three sides, whether it is equilateral, isosceles or a scalar, right? Or whether it is not an triangle, right? So there will be condition for it, right? In order to devise this, we need to write some condition. So some constraints we are drawing from the statement. That first one is, uh, a should be greater than 1 and less than 200, b also should be less than greater than 1 and less than 200, and c also should be greater than 1 and less than 200. Next condition is a should be less than b plus c, and this condition says that, okay, this is a triangle, right? So if any of these three conditions, that is b is less than a plus c, c is less than a plus b, if any of these three conditions becomes true, the particular shape is a triangle, right? These three sides form a triangle, right? So first condition will be, you will check whether that particular sides ABC is forming the triangle or not. Later on you will find out whether which type of triangle it is. So for that again we are having new conditions. If all three sides are equal, the program output is equilateral triangle. If exactly one pair of side is equal, the program output it is isosceles. If two sides are equal, it is isosceles. If no pair of sides is equal, the program output it is scalar triangle, right? And if condition C4, C5 and C6, this condition, if this condition fails, then it is not a triangle, right? So this is DFD, data flow diagram. In the last semester we have seen uh, software engineering data flow diagram. So it is a simple DFD wherein you are having activity. Three activities are there. There is get input, then we will be finding whether it is a triangle or not. If it is a triangle, you will be finding out which type of triangle and you will be outputting it, right? Which type of triangle is. So this is a simple program. Here you are input, uh, you take as input ABC, then whether it is triangle or not, you will be finding out. A is less than B plus C, B is less than A plus C, C is less than. So if the condition is true, it is a triangle, otherwise it is not a triangle. And lastly, if it is a triangle, you will need to find out which type of triangle is there. So if A equals to B and B equals to C, then output equilateral triangle. Means if all the sides are equal, it is an equilateral triangle. Else, if any of the side is not equal, it is scalar. Otherwise, it is isosceles triangle. Right. So if it is not a triangle, you need to output it is not a triangle. So this is first scenario. In this scenario, if you want to test, right, what conditions you are testing? Firstly, you will be testing uh, one condition, that is whether it is a triangle or not, and secondly what type of triangle it is. But we are not checking the constraint about the integer a, b and c, right? So that need to be determined. Again, in black box testing, what you will do, you will enter the value of ABC and find out what output it is giving, or whether it is giving correct output or not. So in unit test cases, how you will be designing unit test cases, you need to give some ID and you will say input value of A, B and C, some values you need to give input, and what desired output you need to give. If it is uh, how many test cases can be there for this? First, depending upon this, how many test cases will be there, it depends upon the condition, right? So how many conditions you are having? Firstly, these conditions are there: 1, 2, 3, then again 4, 5, 6, right? And lastly 7. So minimum 7 test cases need to be there in order to pass this code, right? Now you are not checking another conditions, that is C1, C2 and C3. If these conditions get false, you will see that the values are not permitted. Now again 1, 2 and 3 new test cases will get added, right? Whether if you are placing value less than 1 or greater than. So for this again 1, 2, 3 means you can have minimum of 6 new test cases for these conditions as well. Right? So this is how you devise the test cases for a given program. Right? So if any query, uh, uh, you can WhatsApp me, and we will again take uh, some meeting on online meeting on Webex. Eh? Now, if you are having any doubts, you can let me know on the group as well. Okay, thank you. That's all for today. Hope you understand it. Okay? If any problem is there, you can put message on the group. Thank you.